just because I want to exercise my right to carry a firearm, which I'm legally allowed to do, it doesn't make me a criminal. It doesn't make me, I'm still just a person.
So we need to have those conversations.
And that's why, but see, this is what's going to, I think where we're going if we don't start having these conversations, is we're going to a place where we're either going to be in an absolute ultra-controlled police state.
Or a mess.
Or no police at all.
Right.
You know, because...
Nobody's going to want that job.
Why would you want to be, even now, why would you want to be a police officer?
It's really scary out there.
It's scary. Now, granted, it is a stable career.
Right.
Where you're not going to probably be in the poorhouse, but you're never going to be rich.
47 to 57, somewhere around there.
And they can make it in the 60s and 70s. I mean, but even still, I mean, in Coos Bay, you ain't getting rich on that, unfortunately, with the prices of everything.
True.
So, I mean, they're not broke, but they're never going to be rich. And here's the thing. Why would you want that job when you can die every day you go out?
Yeah.
No, thank you, quite frankly.
So why would they want that job?
Great question. I think there are several reasons, probably, if you think about it, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I definitely think there are some that just want to do good.
Right.
They just want to serve the community.
I believe that.
I think there are probably some who... they want to follow a line of succession from their parents. Like maybe their dad was a cop. And by the way, I don't usually say the word cop unless I hear an officer say it. I call them police officers, law enforcement. Cop is actually a derogatory term in a way. It's like the copper on their badge. Oh, there's a cop coming. But the officers say it sometimes. They'll say, my dad was a cop and I want to be a cop too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Which is, okay, good.
Right, fine.
That's no problem. What about, I'm sure you've seen the chip on the shoulders, right?
Yeah.
And where does that come from? Does it come from being bullied when they're in high school so they want the authority now? Hey, I got you now. Is that what that's about?
I think there's definitely some of that. I think we're lying to ourselves if we don't acknowledge
a piece anyway.
That some of these guys,
some sort of a
some
piece.
of them, not
right,
but some of them where it's like, you know what, I'm going to be the tough guy. There's lots of guys that join the military for the same reason.
Oh, absolutely.
They're tired of getting beat up.
A bigger number.
Yeah, they're tired of getting beat up.
They want to go out and they want to shoot.
And by the way, that's kind of the way recruiters get them. Like, hey, man, don't you want to become a tough guy?
Don't you want to get out there and fight a war and be in the front lines?
And so there's no doubt the police officers, there's some police officers doing the same thing.
Which is a human behavior.
Absolutely. And by the way, bettering yourself is good.
It is.
You know, but it can be taken to a weird place, which some guys take it.
Right.
I think there's also guys that do it for the stability of the career. I mean, you know, there's kind of always going to be a police force unless we really go down as a nation.
Right. And then isn't there a chief check? In other words, it's the chief's responsibility to make sure that all his officers are in check.
Yes.
Now, how does that work with these? Some of these, you really question that.
Well, I think they, and this is where I think we've all seen this. Again, we got to be honest here if we're going to have this conversation. There are some that they circle the wagons no matter what the other one does. You know, somebody can go out and be a jerk and be rude and violate rights, and they'll have their back. Everybody else will have, we got our guys back.
Okay, well, true. Yeah, that is true.
You ought to hold each other accountable, man.
Right. You do. Yeah.
You know?
Just accountable as the group leader, right? Like the chief or whoever it might be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need to be holding these guys accountable.
Right.
Even if it's like, because again, a lot of times it's the citizens who are the jerks. Most of the time, in my opinion,
it is.
When a citizen encounters a police officer, if we're going to be real about this, the vast majority of the time, the police officer is the one who is right.
Right.
If we're going to be honest, if we're going to have these conversations, we got to be honest.
The
police are right the vast majority of the time.
Absolutely agree.
But they've got to be able to own it when they're not.
Right.
And I think that is the thing on those rare times, because I do think it's rare, in those rare times when they're not right. They have a hard time owning it. They have a hard time owning it. And I saw a video just yesterday. Husband and wife go to the police station. They wanted to file a complaint because they had just been pulled over by 5 police cars because someone had called the police on them about suspicious activity at their house. So they were going to their house. Okay, what the officers did is assumed they were going there just to rob the house, but it was their house.
Right.
You see? So what they did was they immediately pulled the dad, the mom, and the 9-year-old child and 12-year-old child out of the car at gunpoint. Pulled their children out at gunpoint. So when it was all finally, because eventually that finally got settled, right? Because clearly they weren't doing anything wrong. So the mom and the dad are like, this ain't cool.
Okay.
So I just want to tell you real quick. So they go to the police station and they begin to talk to an officer. That officer defended everything they did. What are we supposed to do? How do we know you're not good?
Right.
The guy was like, you could ask me for my ID. He's like, you could
that.
ask me for my ID. He's like, and he just defended everything they did.
Right.
And that is the thing. When you guys mess up, just own it, man.
Yeah, that's it.
This is a forgiving public.
Just kind of roll with it. Like, for instance, if you get a call and, for suspicious activity in the neighborhood, well, there might be something that happened in the past there. They might be getting robberies or broken in. And so they come in hot, right?
Absolutely.
So it's predicated on condition.
Yeah, and just understanding there's two sides of the story, right? Maybe the person calling is trying to create a problem for a person.
Yes.
There's just and again, go ahead.
It's the thing, we're human.
Right.
It doesn't matter if the officer or it's the person. We're human on both sides.
Right.
So we're both trying to, work this out.
But it's not going to be worked out unless everybody admits to where they mess up.
Right.
Think about a marriage relationship. If one person in the marriage relationship thinks they're right about everything, well, good luck having a good marriage.
No, it ain't going to work.
Right. And the thing with police officers versus the community, I think everybody's got to own that there's growth that needs to occur, because I don't want to live in a country where I need to fear police.
Oh, no.
I don't. But I do want to have a law enforcement. I do
relationship.
But I want to have law enforcement. I don't want to live in the Wild West.
Oh, no.
Granted, I got guns, so if I got to live in the Wild West, I'll do it. But I would rather. I appreciate the function that police officers perform. Mm-hmm. But man,
can you imagine that I was mentioning that a lot of the officers, they go to the bar and have some drinks out, but there's something behind that, and from a few officers that I know personally. And there's so much out there that they have to take. Yeah. Can you imagine, okay, if you're a good guy and then you hang around dope smokers, what are you going to be? You become a dope smoker. So if you're seeing the worst of the people all the time, can you imagine the pressure and the load and everything on that?
Yeah.
So it's
impossible for a human being to be surrounded by the lowest level of society and not be affected.
And be above.
Yeah, you're going to be affected. The officer may never dive into a life of crime.
No.
But it may make him angry all the time.
Right.
It may make him suspicious of everyone.
Self-medicated.
Yeah, right. He
may drown. I mentioned that.
He may drown the pain.
Right.
In alcohol or drugs.
And that's
because
I understand
he's just a person. Because he's just a person. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's important. This shooting has gotten a lot of people thinking, and I think it's long past time that we should be thinking. I think it's time, in my opinion, I'd love to know what you think. I think citizens need to be more open about the fact that, like, hey, man, we're going to exercise our rights, period. I think officers need to be more accepting of the fact that people are going to exercise their rights and should not assume the worst of them, just like we should not assume the worst. No police officer we should not assume the worst of them. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, they should not be assuming the worst of people. And here's the thing: you don't get a pass. Here's the one thing I would tell police officers: you don't get a pass by what you've seen. You don't get to say, "Well, I've seen all these terrible things, so I get to assume the worst." I'm sorry, that is not the way it works.
No, it's always different.
Because if you know 35 people that look like me that are all jerks, it doesn't mean I'm a jerk. That's not the way this works. I kind of am a jerk. No, I'm kidding. But that's not the way it works. So I just think there needs to be there needs to be a change in the way we think. And I'll be honest. Well, I'd love to hear what people have to say.
Okay, here's the scenario. I know we're going kind of long here, but here's the scenario.
You're long.
We have a group of guys hanging out, right? And they're having a couple of beers, and they're talking about and they're bashing the cops. Whoa, we should start our own group, and we should have a right to bear arms. So they get this attitude.
Yep.
Right. And this is not the correct way to do it. If you want to exercise your right to have a firearm on your side, you need to step up.
Yeah.
You need to be respectful. You need to have communication.
Right.
And you need to let them know that, hey, we're on your side. The officers, we are on your side.
Because we are.
We are.
Me and you are.
That's right.
And like you say, I like that. Be your best self.
That's right.
If you're going to walk around with the gun, don't go out inebriated. Don't go out mad.
Right.
I'm mad at the world. Be your best self.
Stupid, right?
Do it with a sober mindset. I don't mean not drunk. I mean with a calm, thoughtful mindset. That we just need to, because I think that we need to get to a place in our society where we don't fear somebody because they have a gun.
It's so funny because when I drive by a police officer and they have somebody pulled over, I watch, because that officer could be in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so many situations that have been happening out there lately. I always watch. This is, it looks okay. That looks okay. Yeah, it looks okay. So yeah, I'm very conscious about the officers and their side, what they have to deal with.
Well, especially, I mean, just from a personal standpoint, the guys around here. I mean, I would run to have their back. Seriously, I would run
absolutely
to have their back because these guys have been awesome. And I just want to say one thing. I do think one thing that would help the relationship is if police officers lived in the area that they worked, because then they would know the people that they're dealing with.
That's important,
and they would know them.
That's very important.
And I because right now you have officers, they drive into their communities that they're working, and they don't really, unless you're a criminal, they probably don't know you. You know what I'm saying? They're not
know exactly what you're saying. Like coffee with a cop, right?
Yeah, we just did that. Yeah, but you met them all too, right?
Oh,
we met like 10 or 12 of them.
Oh, it was awesome.
And because police, when they ride into the community they work and they don't live there, literally the only people in the community they're going to know more than likely are the bad guys.
Yeah.
Because that's who else they want to deal with. So if they live there though in the same community they work, they're going to be seen at restaurants. They're going to be going to get their coffee. They're going to be they'll be going at the grocery store, and we're going to see them the way we ought to see them, which is as people first,
right?
And the
so, hey, John, what's happening?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Hey, John. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bob. What's happening, man? That is really the relationship that needs to happen.
Yes.
And by the way, that will help officers. If the officers, let's say you're one of these guys, you like to carry your gun around and show how big and bad you are. Guess what? If the 12 officers you see on a regular basis all know you, I guarantee you they're not going to be afraid of you.
You're fine.
Don't you think that's true? Guaranteed. And I believe because of that, with that same thing in mind, if I was walking around with a gun and the officers that we see all the time saw me, I don't think they'd be afraid at all.
No. So, I think it's the right approach.
Yeah. So I would love to know what you think, though.
Yeah. Can I make a quick little statement? Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid, man.
You're asking a lot.
Yeah, I know. But, it's just that's all we need to do. We need to get out there and be the better person.
Yeah, and please don't be like these First and Second Amendment auditors. I mean, I'm using that as a point of reference, but I don't. Right. I think those guys act like jerks. Most of them. Don't be like that. There's no point. There's no point.
No, do you think they need more aggression?
That's what I'm saying. The officers really do have enough to do.
Oh, it's crazy the amount of workload and stress they endure every day.
Yeah, so please leave a comment. Let us know what you think about this. Let us know what effect the shooting had on you, if any. Let us know how you feel about carrying a gun around. He's about to become evil. Look out. Let us know though, how, if you own guns. We just want to have a community discussion here. This is all on the Black Octopus Media page. If you have not yet liked and followed the Black Octopus Media page, please do so.
Thank you.
We would really appreciate that. I am Tom Estes with
Todd Jr.
Thank you so much for watching this. This is Coos Bay Watch special episode on guns and law. Have a good one.
Be safe.